Hello friends, welcome to Java session. I am Pavitra. Uh, Today I am going to explain you the class and object continuation of the previous video. Okay. So in the previous video we have discussed what is class and what is object. Class and objects in Java we have discussed. I have given a lot of definitions for the class. So class is a user defined data type. Okay, the class is a blueprint. The class is a collection of objects. The class is going to describe the structure of an object, like what all the properties we have, what all the functionalities we have. We are going to describe that. Means the class provides the structure of an object. So in the object, how many members are, how many member variables are there, how many properties are there. Okay, so how many functionalities are there, that we are going to define. And when we have seen the syntax of the class, so if you are not watched that, I request all of you, please watch my previous video, which is where a class and object. And now we are going to discuss the simple example. Okay, I'm going to create one example on the, like, I will create a class. I'll explain you how to write your own class, and I will explain you how to create an object of that and how that object works. And using that object, how do you access the properties and how do you access the methods. Okay, so now let us start with the program. So here all we can see, I have created a program already. Okay, so there is I have created a package by name student module, and I have written a public. Last video I have given the syntax of the class, right? So there I have given a class is the keyword and name of the class. And name of the class should be, most of the times it is a entity or it is object. Okay, so I mean to say it's a class. This class naming convention will be upper camel case. I mean to say, every word, the class words first letter should be caps. If there are two words in the class, then each and every word's first letter should be caps. For example, if I am giving student details, so yes and B should be caps. This is the one thing we will use. And the second thing is, uh, you know class name will be most of the times noun. Okay, so for example, right now student is the, it is the common noun, right? So the same way employee is a common name, department is a common name, customer is the common name. Okay, like that. So the class name will be most of the times noun, and so that it can contains its own properties. And inside the class I have given you the syntax. We are going to do the two things. One is the properties and one more is the methods. So here are the properties, that is the string name and int roll number. So, and then I am writing here constructor. We have covered the constructor also in my previous video, so please watch that. So student, right now I am writing a parameterized constructor so that I can initialize the members of this class. So name and roll number are the properties of this class, and I want to initialize this name and roll number whenever I create an object. So I'm creating an parameterized constructor, and I'm writing here one method for displaying the details of this name and roll number, details of an object, I can say. So this display method is the method which will going to work on this name and roll number, that is properties. And these properties, even I have said you that we are calling this as an instance variable because these variables are part of an object. Okay, so the memory will be allocated for this instance variable only when we create an object. So if we don't create an object, there is no memory for the name, there is no memory for a roll number, and we cannot access the name and roll number without an object. So it is very much mandatory. We have to create an object to access the name and roll number. And next, display. This is the method, and this method is non-static method. And this is if you want to call this method also, we need an object, because this is a part of an means this is the functionality of an object. Okay, so now I'll show you how to create an object. So this structure is clear for you guys. Okay. I'm sorry. So here student is equal to new student and Harish, and this is I'm giving the values. So here student is a so here in this I have created another class. Okay, that is test student. And in this test student, I have written a main entry point, public static void main. This is the main entry point of this program. And here we have discussed the syntax of object creation. The first, we have to give the class name and the reference variable name equal to new class name. And then here I'm following the same syntax and I'm creating an object. Student is equal to new student, and then here I'm passing the values. This is, we call it as a parameterized constructor. So if I don't pass this, you know what will happen? It will call the default constructor and it will initialize the default values. But right now I don't want the default values. I want my own values. While creating object, I want to pass my own values. So I'm passing Harish and this roll number. And then student dot display. So first of all, we will understand what happens in this new student Harish. Okay, and how the memory allocation happens for this. So there are two things is happening here. As in my previous video, I have explained this also. Okay, but I'm repeating again. So what is that two things? We have a static memory and we have the dynamic memory, or we can call it as a heap memory. And in the static memory, here the student. So this is a variable is of type reference type, because it is going to store the address of an object. But what is the data type of this? That is student. As we have discussed, the class. Why do you use the class? To create class is a we are using to create a user defined data type, right? So here I'm creating the user defined data type. Student is a user defined data type. Student is the variable, and it is going to store the address of this object. So now the student, where the reference variable will be always the part of static memory. So here the name of this is student. Here s is small. Okay, I'm not given s caps. If I give s as a caps, then it will become the name of the class. Okay, but now I'm giving the reference variable name, that is s small. And this is one more naming conventions we follow. Always the reference variable name we give the same as the class name, but the first letter we will give it as a small. Okay, so that we will not be having any confusion, which is the reference variable. Reference variable name will be always same as the class name. First letter will be small. And next, I have an object. We know that object always stores the memory in the heap, because it is allocating the memory at runtime. Okay. So this is the name, we call it as the new student. So this is default constructor, but right now I have given the value as Harish, and here I'm given 2, 3, 4, 5. New student Harish and 2, 3, 4, 5. And now what happens? This memory is getting divided into the two blocks. One is the name block and one more is the roll number block. This is name. And this is roll number. In the name, when I don't take a parameterized constructor, it will initialize the default value, that is null. But now I have given the value, so it will initialize whatever the value I am given it. The roll number 2, 3, 4, 5. And now this object has its own address. So I'm giving the address is, I'm assuming this number. It will be some kind of hexadecimal number. Okay, but just to remember the things easily, I'm given the simple number, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm assuming this as an address. And this address will be returned to this reference variable by using this new keyword. So here it will going to store the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means now what happens? It will, point, means this reference variable will point to this memory block. Okay. So this is how the memory allocation happens for the reference variable and object. Now I am saying student dot display. The student contains the address 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and dot display. Now it will jump. When I say display, what is it? It is a method, right? So control will jump to the method where we have defined it. Where we have defined, go to the student class and line number 15. It will jump to the display method. And the return type of this method is void, means I will not return any data. I will do the business logic here itself. Okay. And this method access specifier is public. Public means anywhere we want, we can call this method. Right now I'm calling this method in the test student, but you can call it in the different package also. Okay, so right now I'm in the same package, both the classes are in same package, but we can call this in the different package, in the different project also you can call it. Public is universally accessible access specifier. So now once the control come to this display, it will print this message, system.out.println. It is used to print the message in Java. And what I'm printing first name, and this is the message. Okay, so it is a constant, means I'm giving it in double quote, it is a string. And now this name is the variable. Okay, so whenever I give variable, it will print the content of this variable. What is the content of this variable? Harish. So it will print Harish. And again I want to print the message roll number. It is a hard coded value. I'm giving this value in the double quote. Okay, so it is a string message. It will print this as it is. And then roll number, this is the variable name, so it will print what values is there in this variable. Now this display function is acting on which object? It is acting on this particular object, student dot display. The student contains what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 address. And in that address, what object is there? This one, that is Harishan 2, 3, 4, 5. So when this display function, when I call this display function will go to this memory address and it will print the values which is there in this address. Okay, the same way I am creating the another student object, student1 equal to new student. So it is going to allocate a different memory allocation. Again, there is a reference variable and object. Okay, so this is the reference variable and there is a object. Let me take a different shape so that we will not get confused. Okay, and then the name of this is again a same new student, but this time the value what I'm passing is quite different. Okay, so Geeta 2347. So here first it goes to the Geeta and 2347. That is the roll number. Now this object is divided into two parts. One is name. It's exactly as I shown you above. Okay, the name, and here roll number. And here we have the means in I told you if I don't pass the values, it goes to the default constructor. Right now I'm passing the value. It is going for a parameterized constructor and it is going to initialize the value Geeta. And it is going to give the value 2347 for the roll number. And now let us assume the address of this is one, E A X G, something like this. Okay, this is the address of this memory block, and that address will be stored here. Okay, I E A AXG. I'm just assuming this name, and this is the reference variable of this block is student1. Since I have already taken a student, if I again take a student, it will give me error. Okay, that's the reason I have taken the student1. You know, the variable name should be unique. And now this reference variable is pointing to this object. It is not pointing to the previous object. Okay, this object memory is different. This object memory is different. Every time the object has its own memory allocation. Okay, so in your class, if there are 20 students, every student is having the different information and it has stored in the different memory allocation, right? If everything is stored in the same memory allocation, there will be overlapping of an data or there will be a data loss of an students, right? So if you go for an object, that will not happen because this new keyword will always allocates the memory freshly and in the separate memory allocation. Always it goes to the new memory allocation. And it will allocate a memory and it will assign the value and the address will be returned to the reference variable. And now I have another reference variable. Now this object details I want to display. I want to show you whether it is existed, whether it is really present or not. Okay, so that we can confirm it by calling the display. See, earlier the display was going to this memory address, but now this display will not go to this address because it is, who is calling this display? Student1 is calling. And what is there in the student1? That is new student. That is this second object address is there. What is the second object address? AIEAXG. So it will go to this address and it will print the name and roll number which is present in this address. Okay, so the name will be printed and the roll number will be printed. So now let us try to run this. Let me save the both the programs. Okay, and I'll go for run as and Java application. And now we can see there is a name Harish and roll number is this, and name Geeta and roll number is this. Okay, so the first display is printing me the first object details. The second display is printing me the second object details. And now by using object, we can call the method. See, I told you, right? This method we can access only by using the object, right? So where I'm using the object, I'm using here student dot display. Actually, I'm saying I need an object to call this, but this is the object. We want to reuse this object, okay, each and every time. So I'm storing that address in the reference variable. On behalf of object, I will be using the reference variable to do the business logic, okay. I mean to say, to call the methods and to call the reference variable, to call the instance variables. I will not use this object directly, because object is it is unique, and it will be memory will be allocated only once. And again, if I say here new student dot display, it will create a one more new object. And I cannot use this object without reference variable. If I want to reuse this object, then the reference variable is very important for us, okay. So without reference variable, we cannot reuse this object. So that's how it is. And now if you want to let us see how to access the properties by using the object. Now I'm showing you here the method or behavior or functionality. How do you call by using the object? Now what if I want to call the properties, okay. And here let us say while creating the student object, I'm given the name is Harish, but later I feel like I want to change the name. Now how do you modify this name which is given here? So you can see here, I will show you how do you modify. So student dot name, the student is the reference variable, okay. By using this reference variable, I can access these properties. Right now these properties are not private, okay, they are default, and I'm in the same package. So I can access these properties directly in the other class, okay, by saying student dot name is equal to, let us say I want to give the name is Harish Kumar, okay. And I want to confirm now, I want to check now whether the name is changed or not, okay. So how do you check that whether the name is changed or not? I will call this display method again. You know, the method usages, we can reuse that again and again any number of times, right? Here I'm calling the display, the control jumps to this student, and it goes to the display method, and it prints the name and roll number of whichever the object is calling the display. And again, now I have changed the name and I'm again calling the display, okay. So let us see is it changed the name of the student or not, okay. So you can see first it is printing the Harish, and roll number is this, but later I have changed the name to Harish Kumar, and now you can see the name it is printing is Harish Kumar, and roll number is the same because I have not changed the roll number, right? See, when I say student dot name, what is the student contains the address 123456, right? So it goes to the memory address 123456, and in that address name, so it points to name. And I'm giving the Harish Kumar, I'm using assignment operator here. So what is this assignment operator does is it will replace this Harish by Harish Kumar, okay. So I'm editing here, actually what I'm doing, I'm editing the name of the above object, okay, the student object. The same way I want to edit the roll number also, we can edit the roll number also, okay. How do you edit the, usually uh, roll number we cannot edit, but right now I'm not taken that case into consideration. So let us say I'm given the value is this, and okay, we can check whether the roll number is editing or not. So we will run it again and we will see the roll number is edited. Earlier the roll number was 2 3 4 5. Now it is 3 4 5 6. So what if I don't want to allow the roll number to be edited? Then you should go to the student and make this roll number as private. So if you make the roll number as a private, what happens? This variable will be visible only inside this class. Okay, so where is the class is starting? Line number 3. And where is the class is ending? Line number 19. So only within this 3 and 19, we can use this roll number anywhere we want it, but not outside the class. Now you go to the outside the class. See, that time the roll number was working. Now the roll number is not working. Okay, it is giving me an error. And if you see the error, if you observe the error, the field student dot roll number is not visible. Okay, that means the roll number is hidden. We are using, I made the access specifier as a private, right? So this roll number is hidden now. So it is not visible here. It's a kind of, this is one room, okay, and this is another room. And until unless you don't make this as a public, or if you make this as a private, it is like we are constructing the wall between the two rooms. Okay, so in the second room you cannot see what is there in the first room. Okay, the what data is there in that. It's like that. So right now, since I made that variable as a private, it has become hidden, and the second class cannot access the first class variables. Okay, so now we cannot edit this content. Once we create an object, after that we cannot edit the roll number. Okay, because the roll number is private. I hope you all understood this concept. Okay, how the private access specifier works. And apart from private, the other access specifiers here, if I don't give it as a private, it is the default. And default we can use within the same package. Okay, so this also we have covered in our previous video, that is packages. So please watch the packages video. And if I make it as a public, then anywhere I want I can access it, as I told you this method. So I'm making this method as a public so that I am using it anywhere I want it. And this constructor is, see, I have not given any access specifier for this constructor right now, so it is default. Okay, right now. So if I give it as a private, then we cannot create an object here. Okay, so you want to stop creating an object of any particular class, then you can make the constructor as private. If you make a constructor as private, this class object we can create only inside this class. We can inside the other class we cannot create an object. Okay, right now it is a default. I can access this in the entire package. So both the classes are in the same package. So I can create this class object in this class. Okay, no problem now. So that is how this class and objects works. If you want to create one more simple class, then we can create here. Okay, so let us go to the new and class. So let me show you how to create a product class. Okay, and I'll give the package name as product model. I want to create a product model. So I'm given the class name is product. I told class name should be noun, and class will be always either public or default. Okay, package means it will be default. So we cannot make the class as a private, we cannot make the class as a protected. Okay, the class level access specifiers are only two, that is public and default. Default we do call it as package access specifier. And the base class for each and every class in Java will be the object. We will discuss in the next videos about this. Okay, what is the base class, what is the child class. but right now I will create this product class. So go to the product class, and I don't want to take a main. Okay. I don't want to take a main in this. So we will see that why I'm not taking the main. Okay, so we are creating the new one more product class, and I will not take the main here. Okay, because I will give only properties and behavior in this. So just click on finish, and public class product, and here I will give the first, as we know the syntax of the class, first I'm giving the properties, and then we will go for an behavior. And it is not mandatory that all the time I have to give the behavior. If you don't want to create any functionalities, we can even skip also, no problem. So even if you don't want to have a properties, means let us assume that if whatever the class we are taking, that class does not have any properties, it has only behavior, then we can give only behavior. Okay, so it is not mandatory that all the time we have to give both the properties and behaviors. So if both are there, mention both. If only properties is there, then mention only properties. If only behavior is there, then mention only behavior. Right now I'm going to take a properties. So what is the property name we will take here? In product ID, and string product name, and in quantity, and we can go for an float price. And now we can go for a constructor to initialize the values of these properties. Just to make it fast, I have copied and pasted, but here there will not be semicolon. Okay, so I'll remove the semicolon, and we'll give open brace and close brace, and this dot PRID, product ID, is equal to product ID. This dot Pname is equal to Pname, and this dot quantity is equal to quantity. This dot price is equal to price. Okay, so again, for displaying purpose, we can write that display method so that we can check the content of this product ID, product name, and quantity and price. Okay, so I'm writing public void display details. Okay, so the method name we can give whatever we wanted. The method name naming convention is lower camel case. Okay, means if there are two words, the first word first letter should be small, and second word first letter should be caps, and it is going to means it is also having the verb and noun format. Okay, so the display is verb, and details is the noun. If you have a single word, then it will be a verb. For example, display, print, and calculate, like that. If we have a two words, then first word will be verb, and second word will be noun. Now we will go for printing it, system.out.println, and PR. If you don't want to give a message, you can directly give it, but if you want a message, then you can first print the message, and you want to give it in the single SOP, or you want to give it in the different SOP, means you want to get each and every details in the new line, then you can give the value in a new line. Okay, so here Second one is product name. So this variable I will edit it. And third one is quantity. You want to give a space, after that then give the space here, otherwise this message and value both will be mixed up. Okay, price. Now I want to test this. Okay, so go for an new class, and here I will say test product. And now I will take a main because I want to execute now. Okay, so whenever we want to execute a program, there has to be main. Okay, so main entry point of the program has to be there. So now what I mean to say is I cannot execute this particular class. You can see here, if I right click on the product and if I say run as, I will not get the option run as Java application because there is no main entry point in this program. So I have a main entry point in the whichever the program, whichever the class is having the main entry point, only that class we can run it. And here, if I want to access these, product ID, product name, quantity, and price, I cannot directly access. As I told you, those are all instance variables. Okay, so we have to create an object. Only when we create an object, memory will be allocated, and then we can assign the value, and then we can print the variables. So how do you create a product object? Class name. So first product is the class name, and reference variable name, I told you that it will be same as the class name, only the first letter will be small. And then new. Okay, product. And if you write a default constructor, what will happen? It will initialize the default values. Right now I have not given the default constructor in my class, so that is the reason it is giving me error. I have given a parameterized constructor, so it is mandatory that I have to call it. In case you want to go ahead with both, then you have to define the default constructor also in the means no argument constructor we have to create in the product. Okay, so how do you create a no argument constructor? You already know that the product, open brace and close brace. Okay, so just create a this is the class name. Constructor will be having same as the class name, but no argument. Okay, because I want to create a no argument constructor, right? So since there is no arguments, I am not initializing anything. And now see, there is no error. Now if I call the product dot display details, okay, so it will going to print all the default values, because I know I have not given any of my own values, so it will initialize the default values. So you want to check that, this, like the diagrammatically, this is the reference variable. Okay, so we can draw the diagram here also like this. The reference variable product, and here is will be the object. Okay, new product, and it will going to have the values. So now let us check this, and the product will be having the address now, and in that address whatever the values is there, it is going to display those values. You can see the product ID is 0, product name is null, and the quantity is 0, and price is 0.0, because the price is a float, so float default value is 0.0. Now if I want to create one more product with my own values, I want to call the parameterized constructor. So you can create a parameterized constructor, and here the reference variable name should change because already the product is there here, and it will create a problem. And now product, in new product, what is the sequence we are passing the value? First I'm given ID, name, quantity, price. So we have to give first ID. Let us say I'm giving 100, and name. Okay, I'm giving the laptop, and then quantity, right? So quantity I'm giving it as 1, and the price, 0.00f. Okay, now I will go for a product one dot display. So save it and try to run now, and go for a Java application. And you can see the second product. Okay, the product id is 100 and product name is laptop, product quantity is 1, and product price is this. Okay, so like this now we can create any number of objects we wanted. So total how many objects we have here now? We have two objects. This is one object and this is one more object. How many reference variables are there? Here one reference variable and here one reference variable, and I'm calling this display details method. So I hope you all clear with the what is the class and what is the object, what is the syntax of creating the class, what is the syntax of creating object, and how do you access the properties, and how do you access the methods, and how do you hide the properties by using the private, and how do you hide the methods. And even I told you like what is private and what is default and what is public. Okay, and how the memory allocation happens. Okay, and how the reference variable works. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe my channel and give the comments. Okay, whatever the feedbacks you want to mention it. If you want any new topics to be recorded, please mention.